Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. Alright folks, here we are on Wednesday, November 8th. We're going to take a look at Affirm today. So Affirm has an earnings call coming up. And so I wanted to sort of see where the stock might move, what the chart looks like, where some trend line support and resistance levels might lie, that sort of thing, and just sort of say, whether the market digests the earnings call positively or negatively or sideways, what levels might sort of come into play and that sort of thing. So, the most important level to the downside to me is 20.05. Probably acts more like just the $20 psychological level. To the upside, 22.56. There's probably a level sort of in the middle here, right around 21. But even sort of beyond that, there's a couple of other things to note. To the downside here, there is a gap. So that kicks off at about 1957 and it would fill at about 1786. Now this is reminding me, I'm just going to briefly touch on this, of Upstart's situation yesterday, where they also had a gap that was filled, and also this sort of uptrend that it obviously left way behind. I just refresh the chart because I didn't even see. I thought it hadn't updated, but the candle is way down here. So uptrend support, gap to the downside. This had another gap down here. So I don't know that that's what's going to play out here, obviously, but there's a gap here that's already been filled. And then there's one to the downside here. And what I was saying yesterday is, it could be interesting to see if it slams into this uptrend support, what it does, because this uptrend support was kicked off as just sort of like little stair steps up, but it never really had the test of like price coming crashing in and it needing to catch support there and seeing what it does. So if it reacts similarly, that's something to watch for. Gap and uptrend support. Now, if it starts to rise, sure, we have this 22.56 level. To me, the more important thing is, what does it do with this downtrend resistance? This is pretty nascent. It's like brand spanking new. So does that continue to play a role? Is that basically a nothing burger once all is said and done on the reaction? We'll see. If it does go sideways, this is one of the more interesting options, because it does have this wedge. If it does continue to just put in price action here, this, like I said, even though this is a pretty baby trend line, as is this, if it starts to play off of these in here and compress the price action inside, then that could certainly play out and wedge out in the days ahead. So we'll see how that sort of takes shape. If it does bust on through, 23.90 would be a level that I'd be watching. And if it slips down, if it gets into that gap, there is a level in between, sort of in the midst of the gap, 1877. So we'll see if that plays a role or not. And I didn't put it in, but obviously if it really gets crushed, you can see all the sort of swing lows in the recent price action down here. Now, if we chip this off and go ahead and put in the EMAs, we'll see bullish crossovers recently, including one today, that 21 crossing above the 34. So it's wanting to hold tight on those. We'll see if those provide any support if they're needed. Otherwise, they'll just get drawn up with the price action. So good potential motion there. And then in the channel, coming off of the upper bound of the channel, not quite stretching down to the mid-range as of yet anyway, but if it does sort of have a strong reaction, you could easily see it trying to push through the upper bound or coming to test the lower bound of the channel, depending on which way that strong reaction takes shape. If it does come down and sort of starts to rest on the mid-range of the channel, that could provide an interesting setup if the TTM squeeze starts to take shape and that wedge that we were just talking about. Right now, slight bullish momentum, nothing triggering, or still working off of the last fire. All right, folks, I hope that you had a happy hump day and that you enjoy the days ahead. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.